Sports Shorts Radio with Ronnie Rance, Joel Davis, and Buzzy Heidel on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back, everyone. Hour number 2 here at Roosters Bench Grooming Center in Baton Rouge. 2 locations to serve you as we are in Town Center. Get your beard trims, head shaves, get the 7-step shave over here. It's a fantastic, relaxing shave. It's like a facial, and, I've probably half the time that I've gotten the 7-step shave at Roosters Men's Grooming Center, fallen asleep, dropped the little REM sleep action in the middle of it.
Coach, you could use one now.
Boy, yeah,
that's been your look lately.
It's been my thing for going on since March of 2000. I've gone with this light beard thingy.
March of 2020.
2020.
Since COVID.
2020.
Since kind of COVID got big.
COVID beard, been kind of staying with it. I don't know. Kind of getting used to it for a while.
Does it go back towards the age thing that Joel was talking about? Are we feeling some things, and so we want to – we're trying to hide some.
I don't know that the beard is making me look younger because it's got too much gray in it. But so I'm in contemplation. Should I be that guy that throws like a little dark in there? A little –
I think give it a shot. I mean, don't make it so,
you don't want it to be so
Don't make it the
obvious.
Brian Wilson, closer from San Francisco, ex-LSU baseball player, black,
by the way,
shoe polish beard. But
by the way, Brian Wilson is on the ballot this year for the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame.
I thought you were going to go with
he's one of like 150 people on the ballot, but he qualifies now. He's been retired for more than 3 years. He had a great career. He was nominated, so he's actually
Does he have a chance?
I personally don't think he gets in anytime soon. Not to say that he won't ever. I think it matters a little bit in Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. You get a little extra brownie points if you're from the state.
Sure.
Right? You played high school here. You played college here. You played, then you went off to pro. If you got that body of work, but if you're a guy who just didn't play high school, didn't play pro, you dropped in, played college, had a nice college career, but not a super one. He got hurt and different things. LSU didn't win a national championship when he was there. So – it's all on body of work. And, of course, he had a great for 4 years. He was as good a closer in baseball as there was, and was a 2 or 3-time All-Star.
Yeah, and kind of took on a different personality, wild thing. It was neat. And the persona with the black beard, obviously. So, yeah.
Let's go to the phone line right now. Joining us for courtesy of Court Street Cafe, one of Buzzy Heidel's favorite restaurants over in Port Allen. Tommy Krysan joining us, as you can check out TK and myself 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays now on Facebook and YouTube. Follow us on Sports Shorts, Sports Shorts Daily. TK, what's going on today, my friend?
Oh, everything is good over at the Tremonti's Meat and Seafood Sale. They had a line out the door to get in at 9 o'clock this morning. A little slower now, but they're moving a lot of stuff out here. Tremendous sale. They open till 5 p.m. today if you want to stop by.
TK, we were talking a little bit earlier about the Field of Dreams and what took place, and obviously, Buzz was blown away like everybody was. There was an article I read by an Iowa sports writer that said that this was the greatest sporting event, the biggest sporting event, sport thing that ever happened in the state of Iowa. You being an old-time baseball guy, what was your reaction to what you saw this week? And Major League Baseball, by the way, has said they're going to do it again next year with the Cubs versus to-be-determined team.
Well, Major League Baseball hit it out of the park, not just the 8 home runs Thursday night at the game, but this is all everybody's talking about. And it had the highest regular season TV ratings. You got to go back to 2005 to find a game that had a higher regular season rating. So, yeah, they already announced they're going to do it again next year and maybe do some other things similar to that. But Major League Baseball really needs to capitalize on the excitement that this thing generated and maybe bringing some more fans' eyeballs back to the game of baseball. They could use that certainly in the big picture and try to get that younger generation, to watch baseball and be excited. And then, the movie 30 years ago was a Hollywood script. Well, that game the other night was just like a Hollywood script with what happened in the 8th and 9th inning. You and I talked, Ronnie. If that would have been 5-0 after 3 innings and it would have ended 5-0, it wouldn't have had the excitement that got added to it in the 8th and 9th inning. And it was just a special night for Major League Baseball. And with football basically on us now, it was great for them to get that attention. Now, hopefully, they can capitalize on that going forward.
Tommy Krysan joining us, TK joining us, courtesy of Court Street Cafe in Baton in Port Allen, in downtown Port Allen. But tonight, New Orleans Saints preseason action. TK. Obviously, everybody going to be tuning in to see what's going on with Jameis Winston and this whole quarterback battle. You can hear different. Depending on what article you read, you can hear that Sean Payton is a giant Jameis Winston fan, and the job is him. Or you can also read another one that says, hey, it's Taysom Hill's job to lose. Where are you on this subject?
Well, I think Jameis Winston will ultimately be the starting quarterback. Now, they've said we're both going to play tonight, and then whatever order they go in, if Winston goes first, he'll go second. They'll flip that next week, for the first team stuff and the first unit and all that. And then, of course, maybe it could change between now and the season opener, but I just think Jameis Winston is more of an every-down quarterback in the NFL. Plus, I would think Peyton has other ways he can use Taysom Hill on the field, as opposed to Winston's the quarterback and that's it. Okay, he's not going to line up as the H-back, or he's not going to split out as a wide receiver unless it's just a decoy. So I would think you want the wrinkle that Hill provides, and you go with Winston, but I don't think Sean Payton's going to check with you.
Tell us about Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. What's going on over there today?
Well, the big meat sale, everything's posted on Facebook and Instagram. I mean, they're rolling some product out of here, from the ribeyes to the brisket, the bacon, the salmon fillets. I mean, it's just a lot of stuff happening, and they're going to be open till 5 o'clock today. So stop by. Right now, there's not a long line. There was a huge line earlier. And stop by, and I'll be here. Be happy to say hello. Several people that came in here today that listen to Sports Shorts Radio and Sports Shorts Daily, and were all said to tell you hello. So that was really cool. And, of course, don't forget Court Street Cafe. We'll be out there next Wednesday. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, 6 days a week. Jason and staff do a great job. Lunch specials, dinner specials. Court Street Cafe. You can get a cold beer in the back if you want one, and you need to check it out. Really good food.
Tommy, one last thing before we let you go. The NFL suspended officially Darius Geis for 6 games for violating personal conduct policy. We know that the charges that were dropped over the summer, some of them. But do you think, and of course Darius Geis is unsigned, the Redskins let him go, and he's not with anybody right now. And if he does come back, he's going to have to serve if he ever does get signed, he's going to have to serve a 6-game suspension. Do you think we ever see Darius Geis in the NFL again?
No, I don't think we do. And what's curious here, you got to wonder if maybe there's some team out there, one of the 32, that checked with the NFL office and say, hey, you guys going to do anything with this guy? We might be taking a peek, So then they had to do the paperwork and say, okay, 6 games. Now, I'm just speculating there. I don't know that to be a fact, but I don't think you're going to see him. I don't think you're going to see Deshaun Watson play anymore either. I mean, in today's world, the things that are being accused and the allegations and suits and the police investigations, I mean, that's just they're going to get somebody else to take those guys' place.
By the way, you mentioned Deshaun Watson. A story came out yesterday where 2 women told Sports Illustrated in a story published just yesterday that they resent some of the tactics NFL investigation used in an interview with them regarding their contact with the Texans. Basically, they asked them questions. She explained that that's they asked them questions about, what were you wearing and what was, things that they thought were basically inappropriate. So 22 women have filed suit against Watson. I think 10 or so have met with investigators. But, I agree with you. I don't know how, if you're an NFL team, you can touch Darius Geis or Deshaun Watson, at least for this year, and until there's a hardcore resolution either way.
Well, somebody made a great point this week. Years ago, Ben Roethlisberger supposedly grabbed some girl on the butt in the back corner of a bar room. Well, he got 6 games for that. Okay, 6 games. And there was never a suit. There was never an arrest. None of that. It's just a rumor to have happened. Now you look at guys and Watson and you say, if Roethlisberger has 6 games, some guys can never play again. The NFL, I mean, it's like they don't want to find a problem, but there's a huge problem. And I don't know the details, but when you have 22 people file a suit, where there's smoke, there's fire. I mean, it's not like he's innocent. There's not one person that said, hey, grab me on the butt in the back of the bar. No, this is like massive stuff.
He's Tommy Krysan. TK, thanks for joining us. We'll see you on Monday morning, 9 a.m., Sports Shorts Daily. TK will join us live from Tremonti's on Monday. He'll tell us about that big sale, which is going on until 5 o'clock today. Have a good one, Tommy.
Thank y'all. Y'all guys have a good day.
All right, TK joining us thanks to Court Street Cafe. We'll take a break. When we come back, Buzzy Heidel and myself will be with you for the next 45 minutes over here at Roosters Men's Grooming Center in Baton Rouge. We'll talk a little Olympics since the Buzz is back with us for the first time since the Olympics are over. We'll get his take on that. We'll talk about some of the other top stories as well as Olympic golf and also a big tournament going on in golf right now. We'll get you updated on that. Don't go anywhere. Sports Shorts will roll on right after this.
Sports Shorts Radio with Ronnie Rance, Joel Davis, and Buzzy Heidel on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back, everyone. Ronnie Rance alongside Buzzy Heidel. We're over here at Roosters Men's Grooming Center in the heart of Baton Rouge, right here at the town center location. We'll be here. By the way, Roosters is open 7 days a week, so guys, no excuses not to get that haircut, be looking good. They're open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., so you can come by after work. And on Saturdays and Sundays, they're open till 5 o'clock. They're open from 9 to 5 on Saturday and noon to 5 on Sunday. Roosters Men's Grooming Center, 2 locations in Baton Rouge to serve you. The Olympics. So you got into the Olympics. I was into it, but not a lot of, Tommy Krysan really wasn't that into it. Joel wasn't that into it. The ratings weren't great, but I got to be honest with you. I mean, I don't know that I logged tons of hours, but I feel like just about each day I kept up with the headlines of the day and occasionally watched some stuff.
Yeah, I'll say every night, I mean, when we got home, I would turn it on, and my wife's a big gymnastics fan. Of course, all the controversy with Simone Biles and all that, so that caught a lot of attention at the Heidel household. But it's like anything, Ronnie. I think it lost its luster a little bit when there's no fans there. I mean, when there's not, golf's a big one, but if you look at, in the the arena where they were swimming, what do they call it, the natatorium. I mean, there was that just makes it exciting when the fans are going crazy and you can watch all this. The track stadium. I mean, nobody's in that thing.
I mean,
so
the thing that I thought of the most. I mean, you can think of any events, but Japan versus the United States in softball and baseball gold medal games.
Absolutely.
I mean, the place would have had 40,000, 50,000 people going crazy, and none of it.
Yeah,
Nothing.
so I think it lost a little bit of its luster there. But
I was actually surprised at how emotional the athletes were still with no fans and all. For example, Kevin Durant, they win the gold medal in basketball in a hard-fought championship game against France. They lost a game earlier against France in the pool round. They'd lost 2 exhibitions before they even got to the Olympics. And so they were battling. They were battling, right? And they win the gold medal. This is Kevin Durant's 3rd gold in a row. No one's ever done that, done more. And this guy who's choked up on the court with the flag draped around him talking to the reporter, and emotional. And by the way, there's 500 people there, at the game.
Right.
So, I mean, it clearly did not take away from the emotion and the medals, and it still meant the same to the athletes, which really surprised me. Yeah, that it felt the same.
Well, golf is new to the Olympics. The first year was 5 years ago in 2016 in Rio, and look, the Dustin Johnsons of the world. There's a lot of the players that are
too cool for school.
Yeah, however you want to say it. It just they don't want to do it now, and I think it was Paul Azinger. One of them made a great point. It may mean a little bit more to those guys if they ever get an opportunity and they're in their early 40s or and then time's starting to run out a little bit. I guess I guess those guys feel like there's still time left, but you heard a lot with Xander Schauffele, what he said about how much it meant. Justin Thomas talked about how the Ryder Cup is great. He said this was one of the coolest experiences, if not the coolest experience he's ever had. So that's just on the golf standpoint. Not to mention, guys, people that do this and that they train their whole lives to go swim that meet or have that run in the track. And those are, look, I kind of get into it all, even the stuff the rowing, right? I mean, when do you ever watch rowing, sailing, the triathlon? I like all of it. The swimming and the 400, the track part of it is the 2 ones for me. And you think you've probably seen this tweet go out. I don't know if it was like Bill Murray. It was somebody who said, I think moving forward, the Olympics should put a normal, just everyday Joe in every race that they do and just see where they finish to give everyone a good comparison of how strong athletes these guys are.
That's actually really good. That's really funny.
Could you see me doing, the 1,500 meter swim?
Right.
I mean, that's like, it's like whatever, 30 laps.
You couldn't even finish it.
You wouldn't even go like they'd finish and it'd be, 15, 20 minutes later, the next guy's coming. So I think those guys are so, even the triathlon, I watched the guy that won it, they said like the last 4 miles of the sprint, which was the last part of the triathlon, he ran the mile an average of like 4:40. I mean, like the last 3 or 4 miles, that was his average after biking however many miles and swimming, however many miles. So those guys, they're just unbelievable athletes, and I think that's what you have to respect the most is they're putting all out on the line, and the United States is always at the top, if not the top in medal counts wins, and they're always at the top in gold medals. Although I believe Japan and China were right there too with the gold count.
China was second, and then Japan, Soviet Union, and then Japan. There's so many. By the way, the United States had, I think, 8 less medals this time around than they did in 2016. They had 113. I think back then they had 120 something. The thing that surprises me so much about the Olympics is I find myself watching things I would never watch if it wasn't the Olympics.
Absolutely.
It absolutely resonates for me tremendously that these people have worked their entire life for whatever sport it is, whether it's archery or fencing or judo or ping pong or whatever it is, they have worked their entire life and dreamed of winning a gold medal, or in some cases just dreamed of getting a medal.
Right.
And to see them getting that opportunity to do it, it means a lot to me when I watch. I mean, first place, great. Second place, disappointed, didn't get gold. Third, happy to be on the podium.
Yeah.
Fourth, you want to commit Harry Carey. You know what I mean? Like it's. I felt so bad. And granted, I forget her name, and she's going to have many opportunities in the future because she's so young. But the United States had a 17 or 18-year-old swimmer. This was like day 1 or 2 of the Olympics. She finished 4th by 0.100th of a second. Third was 95.74 and 4th was 95.75. I mean, I don't even know what that is, right? How close that is. The point is that person trained, and third place, they're throwing a parade for her in her hometown, and she's got endorsements. 4th place, she's registering for class the next day.
Right.
That's the difference. And they're going, hey, good luck next time. 3 years from now in Paris, you'll get them. I absolutely love the Olympics. I watch everything. I loved archery, man. I got into the archery stuff. I mean, it was just incredible the precision that these guys have. But for me, of all the things I watched, my favorite event of this Olympics was the finals of the 400-meter hurdles. Norway won the gold medal. Karsten Warholm.
This guy's unbelievable.
Yeah, he won the gold medal. He broke the world record by almost a full second. He ran a 45.94. The old world record was closer to 47 seconds.
It wasn't his own record?
I think it was. But
regardless, he was. I remember I watched him a lot, Ronnie. He was incredible.
The second place was the United States. They won the silver, and they broke the old world record. Rai Benjamin, who is unbelievable, he ran a 46.17, which was 50 seconds faster than a half a second faster than the old world record, and finished second.
It's incredible.
It was just 2 athletes that were doing it better than anyone had ever done it before. Karsten Warholm of Norway and Rai Benjamin. These were by far the 2 greatest 400-meter hurdlers. And, we knew it was going to be one of them. We knew it was just going to be, this tremendous fight between these 2. They both ran the greatest race they could ever possibly run. One won, one finished second. But they both shattered the world record previously. But how about this? Just to give you perspective of how great this race was, Karsten Warholm of Norway ran a 45.94. That would have won the British championship in the 400 meters, period. Not hurdles, 400 meters.
Right.
That was how
right.
these people are
right.
jumping over hurdles, and they would have won their country's championship in many different countries with just the straight 400 meters. That's how fast it was.
By the way, surprised you went over to the men's 400 meters when you had Sydney. I'm going to go with McLaughlin. Mm-hmm. Have you seen this?
No, I saw it. They both won, set a world record there too.
Because she's nice.
Yeah, she's nice looking.
She's nice looking. She's obviously very athletic.
I mean, there was great, but like the thing about the Karsten Warholm event was you had the United States versus another country, whereas in the women's 400 meter hurdles, the competition was amongst the United States, athletes. But you had this. Like when you watch the introductions and all, Karsten Warholm's like this old Viking guy, like, he's all pumped up and he's getting fired up. And then Rye is, smooth and cool and confident. And like it just was this contrast between these two guys. And I mean, they're friends, but it was this competition, I mean, Norway had never won that before. I mean, and so. And also in the Olympics this year, they set a record from the most amount of different countries that won medals. They set a record for the most first-time medal countries that had won medals for the first time. They had more different countries win medals than ever before in the Summer Olympics. It just was fantastic. That said, Buzz, how in the hell can they continue with this model? Because it's financially bankrupting these countries. I mean, Japan postponed the Olympics a year, no fans, billions of dollars of infrastructure, and they get no revenue. I mean,
just bring it back to the United States. It's coming to Los Angeles in 8 years, I believe. Yeah. So just come back here and hopefully it'll be like the game in Iowa. There was no mask. There was nobody doing anything. They were just all next to each other. It's going to be in
Paris in 3 years. Who knows what COVID's going to be like then and everything. But my point is that these countries, man, we read the stories about Russia took a bath a few years ago in the Winter Olympics when they, spent all this money, built all these things, and you just don't get the return on investment.
A lot of
it becomes weeds are growing and it just becomes abandoned.
Right.
These facilities.
I don't know what the answer is. Like I said, maybe get it back to the United States, get it to Los Angeles, and hopefully we can have fans.
Yeah, I think honestly, Buzz, I think one of the things you can do at the Olympics is, they love to have the diversity of all these different countries and all these different cities. I think you pick countries that already have the infrastructure, and it doesn't have to all be in the Los Angeles area, meaning like instead of it being the Los Angeles Olympics, it's the United States Olympics.
Right.
Instead of it being the Moscow Olympics, it's the Russia Olympics, meaning that, we can have our main stuff in L.A. We can have the track and field and the open ceremonies and close. But if we got to go to Oregon to do rowing because they've got the facilities already there and we don't have to spend any money, so what? The guys can fly to take a bus, whatever.
Right.
I think that way you can save money in these countries like the United States that already have wonderful facilities. It just might not all be within a 60-mile radius.
Yeah, 5 years ago, they specifically built that golf course. I don't think Brazil, they may have had like a golf course somewhere, but they built that golf course for the Olympics. Now, I've not done any research. Maybe it's still going and people playing golf, and it's great.
A private event.
But point is who knows how long that's going to last, but but they specifically built it. I'm like you, go to a place where if this is going to be the way forward, not having a ton of fans, you got to figure out something. And the last thing I wanted to just give, not that she's listening because she's in Alaska, but you talked about the 17-year-old that lost out. There was a 17-year-old from Alaska, her name's Lydia Jacoby, excuse me. And she won the gold medal in the breaststroke. 17 years old, coach. She's going to Texas. They said something about like Alaska, like the whole state of Alaska maybe has like one Olympic-sized pool or something. Yeah. And they showed, I loved how they went back and showed the families, all the gyms.
People going crazy.
Yeah, she was going crazy. This young lady, 17 years old, again, will be in college next year at the University of Texas, wins a gold medal, and just incredible stuff. Like I said, I get into that type of stuff. I like the storylines.
Yeah.
I couldn't swim from here to there in 2 weeks, but it's fun to watch how fast these men and women are. Dressel, the kid from Florida, he's a giant, Ronnie. He's like 6'6". He's built like a Greek god, and he swims like a fish. So it was fun to watch him win all the gold medals, and he's a very he was very he's a good interview. He's good to listen to. He says all the right things. A very educated kid. So that's all the stuff I like. And looking forward to the 3 years when he gets to Paris, and hopefully like a Dressel and for the men's swimming becomes kind of what Michael Phelps was for the United States a few years ago, and kind of carried the torch for a few Olympics until obviously he got to a point where he either couldn't do it anymore or he didn't want to do it. But a big Olympic fan, as I said, and I enjoy getting into it.
He's Buzzy Heidel. I'm Ronnie Rance. We're over here at Roosters Men's Grooming Center in Baton Rouge. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more. Don't go anywhere. Sports Shorts presented by our good friends over at L'Auberge Casino in Baton Rouge.
Sports Shorts Radio with Ronnie Rance, Joel Davis, and Buzzy Heidel on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back, everyone. Just about a little less than a half hour left on Sports Shorts Radio, presented by L'Auberge Casino. Next Friday at L'Auberge Casino, they've got a Bag of Donuts and the Chiwis in concert on the same night.
Wow.
So should be a little date night for the Heidels. That'll be going on. You can get your tickets, of course, on through Ticketmaster.com. Stop by the Sundry store as well. Go through the L'Auberge app on your phone. So we had Tommy Krysan on earlier this hour, thanks to Court Street Cafe. We had Joel Davis, who joined us hour number one. Don't know if we should thank anyone or not for that, but he was with us nonetheless. For those 6 of you that stuck around and listened to Joel in hour number one, we really appreciate you. But I've gotten into the pork futures market, Buzz. That might surprise you a little bit. I read an article a couple weeks ago that over in California, the people of California voted in about 2 or 3 years ago. I think it was like 3 years ago. A law that they're putting into effect January 1 of 22, where if you buy meat products that are uncooked, so pork, beef, chicken, whatever, anything that's uncooked, it has to come from a farm where the animal has enough room there's enough space on that farm, because it's on a 100-acre farm and there's so many animals or whatever, to where that animal has enough room to turn around in a circle without touching a wall or another animal. And if that animal wants to sit down or lay down, it has room to do so. Okay?
All right.
So they figure that it's not going to, where they currently are getting their beef and their chicken and all that, it's not really going to affect those industries.
So they just want to make the animal comfortable before they whack him.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so if you buy meat beginning January 1 and 22 in California, whether the farm is in California or the farm is in Louisiana, it doesn't matter where the farm is, it has to be approved to those standards. Okay? So they expect that the pork industry, where, as of this article a few weeks ago, only 2% of wherever you got pork in California came from a farm that already fit that criteria at the moment.
Gotcha.
And that they expect that in 22, the price of bacon is going to go through the roof. That way, if you can get it, or it's going to be double the price, because 15% of all bacon consumed in the United States is consumed in California.
That's not going to be good for the Big Ron Rants.
That's what we're getting to. Okay, that's what we're getting to. Bacon is a top 5 item in my diet.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, a crispy bacon, $3.50 on a pan in the oven for 45 minutes, about 6-7 slices. That's kind of a every other day thing in my world. But we're talking pork chops, whatever, right? So, Tremonti's, my point, I'm bringing it all back to today. They have a giant meat sale going over at Tremonti's. They've got that thick hickory bacon, that you normally like, that Wright bacon that's in the Wright's bacon that you pay like $10, $11 for a pound and a half of.
You told Tremonti just put it all on the side you.
They've got the nice, thick, really good high-end bacon, $5 a pound over there right now. I've already
you got Tommy Krysan on it.
No, they've already got me put aside like 20 pounds of bacon that I'm picking up after the show. And then they also had like these ribs, like a little 3 or 4 ribs in a pack. They've got those unbelievable prices on ribs. And so I've already got 20 packs of ribs that I'm going to get. I'm preparing for the apocalypse, basically. I mean, my freezer My freezer's never seen the quality of meat that it's going to see this afternoon after I get done here. I'm going by Tremonti's and picking up bacon. So if you need – so, look, when the bacon prices go up
don't come
in 2022, Coach, I'm solid. Not only am I'm getting bacon prices cheaper than they are now. I mean, I might get into the bacon business. I might try to buy all the bacon I can between now and 22 before the prices go through the roof. And then next thing you know, I'm going to be like the meat man, selling meat door to door.
Or let's just corner the market and go buy the farm with the, and space out the animals. Make sure we got enough room. I mean,
turn around, sit down.
I can find somebody to run that, Coach. I mean, we can find somebody back Brittany, back Bruley, somewhere that can get the
back Bruley. They got land. They got room for the animals to turn around. So anyway, I thought you'd get kicked out.
I do. But no, you're making a good choice for one, because Tremonti's Mike does a great job over there, and they've got all the look. If you go over there, you see a nice bottle of bourbon too. Don't be scared to throw that in the hamper either, Ronnie. You just never know. Okay.
By the way,
your mom, she's great.
My mom jumps in there. Schedule an appointment with your cardiologist ASAP. Yeah, this is true. By the way, believe it or not, I know it's shocking, but I did have my physical recently with Dr. Todd Cooley. Ran all the vitals. Had the colonoscopy. Yeah. I mean, everything. Coach, when you get 49, you do it all. Came back okay.
Other than
a little high blood pressure.
Dr. Cephalou maybe on this. I mean, I don't know.
A little high blood pressure. Listen, I mentioned the meat man. I got to be honest with you, Buzz. What's the craziest job you ever had?
The craziest job?
Of all the jobs you ever did, did you ever have a job in high school or college in the off season? Did you ever work for 3 weeks somewhere? I mean, granted, you're an insurance guy now. You're and professional golfer.
See, it wasn't like you. Like, your dad was probably like, hey, look, you're playing. I don't give a crap that you're starting tomorrow. You need to go, you got to go unload the truck at the market, whatever. Like, my dad was a little different. And they may call me soft, call me what you want. He's like, you playing today. You got 2 hits. You don't have to, you don't have to cut the grass.
That's the number 2 hits.
Well, whatever. You drove in the. I was probably drove in the only runs of the game too with those 2 hits. But you get where I'm going with this. So
you didn't have a job besides insurance? Is this the first job you ever had?
Well, I worked for Randy Davis right out of college in the financial world, and then I went right into insurance after that.
So that was it. 2 jobs.
Yeah, I mean,
you never. I'm serious.
I'm trying to think.
I did you didn't have a job in summer ball. You were that loaded. Golly, the Highlands had that kind of money. I mean,
what was I going to do, Coach? I mean, we woke up, you went play ball.
When I played in the Cape Cod, we worked 3 days a week.
Where did you work?
Some guys work every day.
You didn't play every day?
Yeah, but you worked during the day.
What?
I worked at Simply Good Deli and Cafe. Mike Neal and I worked at Simply Good Deli and Cafe.
I know this sounds terrible. I really am trying to figure out if I did anything.
We would cut. You come in. Hey, I need a pound of Virginia ham. I'm the guy slicing it on the slicer. Hey, I want to get a pastrami on rye.
And they taught you how to give the we didn't lose a finger.
See that scar right there on my thumb?
So we did.
It's like a little scar, and
on the left hand too.
On the left hand, just a little scar where the slicer got me a little bit on the right thumb, on the back side of the thumb. And so somebody got a little extra in their meat, that day. But just a little piece. But Simply Good Deli and Cafe. We worked at the mayor of the town in Chatham owned the cafe. And he's the one that taught me. He said, hey, if you ever get a hangover, the next morning, drink a Yoo-Hoo.
Well, I love Yoo-Hoos.
He said, he says something about the Yoo-Hoo will settle your stomach. So, ever since, not that I needed an excuse to drink a Yoo-Hoo because it's one of my favorite drinks ever. Although I'm more of a chocolate soldier guy. I don't know if you ever got into that.
No.
It was the original Yoo-Hoo.
You didn't go chocolate Nesquik with the little bunny rabbit
Never
on
did it.
Yeah.
Never did Nesquik. But this guy told me that, hey, drink a Yoo-Hoo. It'll help settle your stomach. But, and then I worked there. But I did in Phoenix, Arizona, during the minor leagues in the off season, or when you're trying to make it, whenever you got to have a job outside of school. I was a pizza delivery guy. A buddy of mine when I was in college, his dad had a trucking company. We worked for him one summer while we played ball. But I also, for about 4 months, did meat and seafood door-to-door sales in Phoenix, Arizona. Literally the old school days, hey, how you doing? I'm Ronnie with Meat and Seafood. How's it going today? Listen, I was just in the area, had a customer, Miss Johnson, right over on 3rd Street. I was supposed to deliver this order. She's not home.
You lied to make the sale.
I've got all this meat in our cooler. And
make you a good deal.
Make a great deal.
I've heard this guy give the spiel, and I mean,
I've got some great. If you got a minute, I could show you. And I had a Ford Explorer, and I would pop the hatch of the Ford Explorer, and I had a built wooden box with dry ice in there, in the back, and I would open, and there would be boxes of vacuum sealed, lobster tails or meat or whatever the case may be. And I would sell it, Meat and Seafood, door-to-door sales. By the way, in Phoenix, Arizona, and the surrounding area. I wasn't very good at it, didn't do great at it, but I did sell meat to two people you know of. Devon White, center fielder for the Toronto Blue Jays. Great player, won a World Series, was an all-star. Devon White. Sold him some meat. No, I didn't sell this other guy meat, but I did deliver him a pizza, Phil Mickelson. Delivered a pizza to Phil Mickelson.
How did you? I've never known this.
Yeah, it was at Domino's in Scottsdale. A buddy of mine who graduated from Wright State in Ohio. There were 4 dudes. They all went to Wright State in Ohio. They were from Indiana. They all graduated, moved down to Phoenix, lived together, and they all had to get jobs doing whatever while they were applying for real jobs. They had their resume and they were trying to get business jobs or whatever they were. So in the meantime, one guy was a manager at Domino's, one guy was a driver for a business, another guy did this, another guy did that. Well, they were friends of mine, and the guy said, man, we need some delivery drivers. We're in a pickle. I said, sure, no problem. He says, it's good money, man. I said, it's a Scottsdale Domino's.
Yeah.
I said, okay, no problem.
Good money in Scottsdale for sure.
A couple things. One, I'm not going to wear the hat. No Domino's hat. Okay, I'll do the polo shirt, but not the hat.
I'll put the thing on my truck.
And I will not put the square, the light on my rectangle. On my truck. Yeah. I won't. He said, fine, I don't care. I need it that bad. Coach, I was making like $15-20 an hour.
Did Mickelson tip well?
I don't remember.
It's weird too.
This was 94 probably.
Yeah, so he hadn't really made it. Just saw an article.
A condo in
just saw an article.
Scottsdale.
He sold about 3 or 4 golf courses in Arizona, and the net worth, according to Forbes, is right at $1 billion. Like what they were saying is he's the next $1 billion dollar. He matches Tiger Woods is how the article was written of being $1 billion golfer net worth type deal. So congrats. So if he didn't tip well, shame on him is where I'm going with that.
Louis Garcia just texted me, reminded me of another job I did, but there's multiple jobs. I don't have time to get into all of them here. We'll be back. Sports Shorts Radio presented by LaBerge Casino. We're over here at Roosters Men's Grooming Center. Buzzy Heidel and Ronnie Rance will be back. Final segment next. Don't go anywhere.
Sports Shorts Radio with Ronnie Rance, Joel Davis, and Buzzy Heidel on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Shorts Radio. Don't forget Sports Shorts Daily, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's on Facebook and YouTube. Go to our Facebook page, give us a follow. It's the white circle that's with red writing that says Sports Shorts. Give us a follow. Also go to YouTube and type in Sports Shorts hosted by Ronnie Rance, and you give us a follow on YouTube as well, and you can check out our show. Former teammate of yours, Glenn Dorsey, going into the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame August 26th through 28th. Yes, the event is happening. All the events are happening per usual. Thanks to our local State Farm Insurance agents, the title sponsor of the induction ceremony. It'll be live on TV on CST. So if you can't make it up there on August the 28th to Natchitoches, you can watch it on CST at 7, starting at 6 o'clock with our red carpet arrival show, and then at 7 o'clock is the actual induction ceremony. A lot of greats. Courtney Blades Rogers. Courtney Blades was a fantastic softball pitcher at Bel Air in the 90s, went on to play at Nichols and Southern Miss. When she hung up the spikes in 2001, she was the all-time strikeouts leader in college softball in the country.
Wow.
So it gives you an idea how great she was. Her daughter currently going into her second year at Georgia, part of that World Series team for Georgia in softball, and she lives in the Houston area, but from Baton Rouge and so many others. My favorite I'm looking forward to is Chris Jackson, who Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, who played basketball at LSU for 2 years, and 89 and 88, 89, 89, 90. The most exciting basketball player I've ever watched in person.
I was just about to ask you. I mean, is he the greatest LSU basketball player?
Well, no, Pete Maravich.
Pete Maravich, okay.
Hands down,
Pete. And then so bad question. Pete's 1. All right, so is he a clear 2? I mean, obviously Shaq.
No,
I mean,
No, I don't think it's a clear 2.
But you're not the only person I've heard say that. That's why I asked that question. I've heard many people. They're like, he was the most exciting player. He was. I don't know. They use that word a lot. I guess they don't say the best they've ever seen, but they're just like he was.
Yeah,
he's their
electric.
favorite. I don't know what.
So.
And I wasn't old enough. I never watched him as well.
If you were going to do a top 5, and look, I'll take LSU basketball's top 5
over anybody in the country.
Well, against anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, UCLA's going to. You put Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Bill Walton on the same team. You could, but Shaquille O'Neal is in the center. Bob Pettit as one of the forwards, who's in the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame. And then you've got Chris Jackson and Pete Maravich at the guard position. The only problem there is they're both fighting over who gets the ball and who takes the shot.
Right.
Who that other forward is, that's going to be a fun debate. I mean, is it Rudy Macklin? Is it Joe Dean? Is it John Williams? Is it Stromile Swift? Huh? Tyrus Thomas? Like, who might be that other guy? But clearly, Bob Pettit, Shaquille O'Neal, Chris Jackson, and Pete Maravich are your 4 of the 5.
And then you battle it out for the fifth spot. I'm with you there,
Coach. I mean, that'd be fun. That'd be fun. I'd pay $200 a ticket to go watch that. Every night.
Absolutely no. And again, the reason I asked the question is because you're not the.
That's what I didn't mention. Fess Irvin.
Okay.
Former with Sandoval.
Yes,
Sandoval
that's right. That's right. Yeah,
missed the
Gator,
end of that damn 1-1 in '87. They're going to the Final Four, but that's neither here nor there. But anyway,
Glenn Dorsey though is being inducted.
What do you remember about him?
I've said this many times. I played with him in high school, and then we were together in college. Obviously, 2 different sports, but. He was the best player, bar none, in high school on the field, but he was also the hardest worker. And, you see that a lot of times. You see the hard work, the best player being the hardest worker, but you don't see it all the time. And I remember having to keep him out of drills because he was so dominant. He couldn't always do the drill against a high school kid the size of me, right? And so he just great human being, too. And so he was a special person. Yeah,
he lives in California now, but he'll be getting honored along with a great class. Go to lasportshall.com, lasportshall.com. Get your tickets. We got bowling events, Rock and Riverfest, Parish County Line's going to be performing, fireworks, kids clinics that are free to the public, all that. Go to lasportshall.com, click on the events tab. We hope to see you August 26th through 28th up in Alexandria and Natchitoches at the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame induction for the 2021 class. Thanks to Roosters and LeBears. Have a great week, everybody.